Back at the backyard pond, and winter's almost over, and I want to take the last chance and drill a bunch of holes in the ice and send a camera down and see if we can get a view of some of those bass that we tagged and put in the pond last fall. I came out yesterday and drilled a few holes just to make sure that the ice was safe. We have 12 inches of ice, so quite a bit of ice still, but the weather's getting warm, so this is pretty much getting to the end of the season early this year. We've come a long way on water quality. I've had some green water, had some gross water a couple years ago, but we really worked on trying to eliminate any runoff coming into the pond, and also the solar pond aerator goes on that white pipe over there in the summer, and that has done its job. You can kind of see down there, it is some pretty clear water. If you've watched some of the videos in the past, I have sent down just an old GoPro in a waterproof casing, and it's got some really good shots of the fish in their natural habitat. I have a lot of sunfish in here, a pumpkinseed sunfish species. We have a whole bunch of them. They do really well, and they've spawned and done exceptionally well. In the past, the sunfish have always been easy to get on camera. They're actually a very curious fish. They come in and inspect the camera, whereas the bass are quite the opposite. I've never been able to get a good bass on camera in the winter. I don't know where they're hanging out. I like to get the camera very close to the bottom, just bring it up a couple inches, and that seems to be where most of the action is. In the ponds and lakes in the winter, you actually have your warmer water on the bottom, whereas in the summer, your hot water is up top, the sun's warming it up. In the winter, your coldest water is just under the ice, and there's actually some heat given off from the pond bottom, and that's a lot of times where you'll find the fish. So I'm trying to keep the camera pretty low. Going to take the auger now, and I'm going to drill a whole bunch of holes out so that I can increase our chances of finding some fish. I think it's such a nice day. Probably get the ice fishing gear out later and see if we can catch a couple of those sunfish. I left the camera to hang down all of these holes for a long time, and I sifted through a lot of video, and this is a supercut of the best 1 minute and 50 seconds. I could not believe how loud the ice auger actually was under the ice. Just a tip to anyone who's trying to sneak up on fish while ice fishing, it's pretty loud down there. This is kind of the year that we didn't really get a winter. A lot of the snow's already gone on this south-facing hills. We're late winter. We only have 12 inches of ice here, and that hole we drilled I usually have double that at least, maybe more. I've kept the skating rink kind of open this year for the kids. We didn't get out that much because there was just a lot of warm weather, wet snow. It was a lot of work clearing it off, and we just didn't get to skate that much on this warm winter. So not much more winter here. It's going to be over quick. We've got some warm weather coming, and I wanted to get out because this ice is not going to remain safe for very long. I found that out the hard way last weekend. We had a little bit of snow. I was clearing off the rink with the tractor. And I was down to my last pass here, and it was kind of wet, slushy snow. And I took the bucket across, went to dump it on shore there, and my front wheels fell through the ice. And it's only a couple feet deep here, but what a disaster getting that tractor out. It was getting late in the day, coming on dark. It was going to be a really cold night, and that was just not a lot of fun. That was a wake-up call for me to watch what you're doing. Even though we have 12 inches of ice out in the middle, this is a warm area. We got the rocks, we got south facing, and I have all these cattails. This is where we feed the bass and the minnows in the summer, and there's big cattail growth here, and it was coming through the ice like this. And you can see a lot of cattail growth there through the ice, and that's just a weak spot. So I learned that lesson. I didn't take any video. It was just a complete disaster, but we got it out. Nobody got hurt. No machinery got busted up either, so it was a bit of a bonus. Here's the old Christmas tree from a couple months ago. That's sitting here waiting to go into the pond. I have probably 5, 6, 7 of these in there, and if you've seen some of the summertime videos, these hold so much fish and bait. They're just amazing. So I'm going to put another one in here in the spring once the ice is gone. Well, I think it's too nice of a day not to try and ice fish. It's warming up. We can get the kids out here, but there's only one issue. I haven't ice fished in a couple years, and when I did, I would always go ice fishing for lake trout. So I have some extremely heavy rods and heavy line, and that's probably not going to perform very well in this 6-foot deep pond as we target panfish and small bass. So we'll see if it works. Oh, that felt like something. Where are the fish? Where are the fish? Oh, there's one. Oh, a sunfish. First fish ever. We got a sunfish. Finally. Look at that nice guy. He was hungry. There we go. The first fish ever brought through the ice here. He's cold though. He wants to go back. Ready? Put him down?
Yeah.
Ready?
In my hole.
Oh, he found his way down.
Think he'll try to get mine?
Oh, he's probably got a sore mouth. We got one sunfish on camera. We got one sunfish not on camera. So we did end up catching 2. We resorted to the worms. They worked. Real worms. Hard to beat them. But depending on the weather, we'll try and get out one more time, right? We'll see if we can get out one more time, but there's some warm... Well, a few more times maybe. The warm weather's coming, so this is gonna start to get not safe, and I don't wanna be out here if it's not safe, but maybe we can get back out here and try again.
It's the end of February.
I know, it's the end of February.